Joining us in the studio is the lawyer and social commentator Tunji Abdul Hamid. It's nice to have you join us right now, and Happy New Year.
I'm pleased to be here. Happy New Year, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you, thank you. Now, when it comes to the issue of unemployment, we can't stop talking about this because it seems for every year it keeps climbing. The rate keeps climbing. Sometimes maybe 1 or 2, it will drop a little bit and then climb again. Now we're looking at, 33.5%. Now, how much of concern do you have considering all of the promises and all of the different strategies and schemes by government to reduce unemployment?
I have a lot of concern because where there's unemployment, when the youth, those who are supposed to work are not able to work, there's a crisis because people, those who are working are complaining. Talk less of people, somebody who's not even working at all. So there will be room for laxity and so many other things. That's why you see people, youth in crime, youth in other activities like that. So it's very alarming, and that it's very, very disheartening for me. So I think it's very great concern, and we need to look into it. And you see, unemployment, in Nigeria, I realize one thing. Once we enter into a particular scenario or situation, it continues to, rather than decrease, it continue to increase, and they will be using 1 year to praise another year that you said it was bad. So I think like you said, in 2014 we were here when the over thousands of thousands or millions of Nigerians went for an interview for a job just for a few spaces. Yes, we also have recently I learned that there was an application that was in Lagos State. Application to employ teachers for just 5,000 or so.
For 1,000 jobs and 50,000 applied.
And most of people who apply, it's not as if they are passionate about it. But they don't want to do something because there's nothing to be done. And people, when you're not working, apparently you may not get anything to maintain yourself. So our economy is bad because of our situation. We don't have basic infrastructures. We don't have the enabling environment. It's been, and that definitely is affecting our economy.
But the government has tried to cushion all of this by coming up with various schemes to, help curb or curtail the situation. Are you saying that the approach is not right, that is not giving the desired result?
It's not enough. And even those schemes you're talking about, I see it as a palliative measure, because you can't employ me and place me on a permanent. We have employment, we have underemployment.
Yes.
So they are very.
And some people say underemployment is as bad. It's as bad.
Like I said earlier, most people take the job they see not because they have passion, and that's why we're having what we're having in this country today. That's why you see people you see our education system going, because those who are even in the teaching job are not there because they are passionate about it, but they just want to be doing something. That's why they were there. So you see people collecting jobs that they're not supposed to collect because I just want to do something. So it's very, very disheartening to see the country the way it is now. Because I see promises every time. The APC government that is government now, the PDP government, they made promises regarding employment. Recently, the president said they are planning to employ 10,000 or how many thousand or millions of Nigerians. I have not seen those things in places. The situation before now has changed. Before now, I think the religious activities has taken over most of our industries that will employ our youth or that will employ people who are supposed to be employed. Because most people now rely on the miracle or God to get what they are looking for, rather than look for a job. Because those who are supposed to provide the job, they've left the country for other things, and some of them are even not even.
All right, now the president promised 100 million Nigerians to be lifted out of poverty, and that means that if you're going to lift you out of poverty, then something will be given to you to do. Yeah. So are you saying that you don't have trust in what the president said?
I can only have trust if I see the foundation, if I see the basis. Where are the jobs coming from?
So you're not seeing
the question. Where are the jobs coming from? It's not by making policies, or you have to show the need on ground. Even all these statistics we are talking about, I'm of opinion that we are even more than that, because I know these statistics are just based on an assumption, because I'm not aware we have any data where we can actually get the actual data of those figures.
Yeah,
we're
but
just making an assumption.
The MBS,
as to what is it.
The National Bureau of Statistics have their mechanism of gathering their data.
By assumption.
Not necessarily by assumption.
Where
they
they have the instruments.
have the instruments, because the point there is, in as much as they may not be as formidable or as funded as the United Nations, but you don't see United Nations coming every day to ask you this or ask you that.
There are so many people who did not go to school.
Yeah,
They'll be using school statistics as their own yardstick to get the statistics. But there are people who are not in school at all, particularly in the rural area.
Yeah, let's leave it here now. Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Right.
Joining us now is lawyer and social commentator Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Great to have you join us. Yeah.
Now, there are talks or data shows that by 2030, the unemployment rate would have increased way more than what it is now, and that would need to create about 30 million jobs. This is 2020. That's 10 years. Every 3 years, we have to create about 3 million jobs. Do you foresee the government doing something with regards to this, and in this direction? In what direction would you expect to see government move, seeing that it intends to even lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in this light?
Yeah, if we expect the government to provide for her all the job, we may not be telling ourselves the truth. The government will not be the only person that will provide the job. The people themselves can only provide job. What the government should do is to provide an enabling environment. In other words, ensure that our electricity are working the way it should work. You know, most companies left Nigeria, or most people lost their job because of a lack of electricity and some other infrastructure. Because you see, most people that ride and drive a Marua these days, they are formerly into vocational job or some of such. Then because of we have barbers, we have iron benders, we have welders. Because there is no market, because of they don't have the facility. You have to engage or have generator or buy diesel, buy that to be able to do your job. Most of them decide to say, look, this is not profitable again. Let me just go to another venture. That's why some of them are doing this. So that if the government could provide enabling environment, that will give people to create job on their own. And that's why I agree with the fact that they must encourage small-scale businesses. If you have enough small-scale businesses, people will have jobs. And
now that the government or the president has assented to the finance bill, which increases the value-added tax, and is also, this tax is meant to, address these infrastructural issues. One would expect that all of this should be a thing of the past, moving on from now.
What is on paper is not the same thing as reality. What we have now is just on paper. That's been put in place. It has been increased to 7.5. Are we going to meet our target? Are we going to get to what we are expecting? Those are questions to be answered, and those are issues. Until we are able to give ourselves target and meet that target.
But at least the customs service has started. Last year, they made for the year 2019, they made far above about 400 billion naira extra from the target that they were given. So shouldn't that be a good thing?
No, it's a good thing if we are making the money. If we are making the money, it's a good thing. But what I'm saying is that if we have enough policies or good programs that will encourage people to have more businesses going on or concerned.
We certainly need money too.
Yes, we need money too, because most when I was growing up, we have some we have industries and we have so many businesses running. Some of them are no longer in Nigeria. We have some of them who have left the country. Why? Because of the infrastructure facility deficit in Nigeria.
Before we round off, the point there is UNICEF reported that on the first day of January 2020, Nigerians gave birth to 26,000 babies, which gives us the issue of population increase. We're rising at about 3% annually. Now, how much of a challenge will population be to the issue of unemployment? Because if we're trying to create employment for people and when we have more people coming in on board, how much of a challenge is that going to be?
Now, it's going to be a great challenge, because if people already are alive and there's not enough plan for them. People are joining those people already on ground. So what I expect the government to do is to increase its planning policies and then to ensure that, look, we create more room for the children yet unborn and for those already on ground. So we need to do more in terms of providing. Generally, what we need is just an enabling environment. Okay. Once the government provides an enabling environment, things will work on its own. You have electricity running, we have water. If you look at the cost of production in this country, as regarding the issue of electricity and whatever, most people travel out of the country not because they want to travel, just like that Omolola's case. It was not because she said she went there to be a teacher. Why did you want to be a teacher abroad? because of the economic value of that employment there. Because what you get there is not comparable to what we have here. Okay. So people, if we create an enabling environment here, people will be able to say, let's stay there, let's work and do this thing together, and then it will work.
All right. Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right. Joining us now is a lawyer and social commentator, Tunji Abdulhamid. Tunji, good morning.
Thank you.
Great. Now, 2020 has been a year that Nigerians have a lot of hope when it comes to how things are going to turn around. The president, in his New Year statement to Nigerians, or his love letter to Nigerians, said that Nigerians should be very hopeful this year, and they should be patient and they should be hopeful. Hope is one thing that Nigerians always have. Now, how hopeful are you, certainly, that out of the promises that the government has made this year, certainly, there are some of the things that we're seeing, landmarks, where the budget cycle has been, brought to the January to December cycle, which a lot of people applauded the government for. And besides that, how much of a hope do you have that some of the promises, especially concerning unemployment, will be put to practice this year?
How much of hope I have is a thing I cannot quantify now, because I don't want to say I don't have I can only have hope when I see the basis for that hope. I can't have hope when I've not seen what will give me hope. I can only have hope when I've seen what.
What do you want to see right now?
I want to see, like I said earlier on, I want the government to provide an enabling environment.
But these things will take time. These things will take time. You know that these things will take time.
We want to lay foundation.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What foundation would you like to see right now? Because we are where we are already.
The foundation I'm talking about is that, look, let them create, for example, the small-scale businesses. The issue of tax by those who carry out business that will cost small scale, those Yaloja or whatever, those who sell small things in the market. The issue of all those unnecessary taxes being imposed on them should be eradicated, or should be reduced to a minimum. I don't even want it at all, because that creates a lot of problem for them. They should encourage a situation whereby there will be finance for them, at least for the SME, not the kind of finance we are having now. That's 5,000 naira for something, or 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira cannot do any business for you to succeed. You can't succeed with a 10,000 naira business. There's no way. I can't accept that from anybody to say, if I give you 10,000 naira, you can improve your. When we know what the school fees talk about, we know what it takes
to there are lots of people who are out there at that little small scale where they don't have any family, but they need to sustain themselves.
That is to sustain, just to live.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be better than nothing?
That's
just staying in the cold and staying under the bridge.
Yeah, it's better, but that will not be enough. And we know we are talking unemployment now. A situation whereby that kind of person decides to struggle, send his or her children to school, and expecting that when the children graduate, they will get this, they will get that, they will get. Even the children that goes to school look at issues. Look, they have a lot of expectation that when I graduate, I should be this, I should be that, I should be this, and upon graduation, after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, nothing. That's why we are having the kind of social crisis we are having now, like issue of Boko Haram, kidnapping, armed robbery, bandit, or whatever crime, Yahoo, and all sorts. Because everybody is looking for a way to survive. They are looking for a way to live.
It seems the focus is majorly on the federal government. How about the state governments? Because the federal government right now seems to be focusing more on revenue generation, especially also for the state governments. But then how should the state governments coming to tackle these issues?
No, when I say government, I'm talking generally whether local or whether at all levels. But I know that, look, most governors hardly pay salaries. When they collect the allocation, what they do with the allocation is just to pay salary and nothing else. So they need to think outside the box by creating, and sometimes they have these obstacles of whatever they see in their community belongs to the federal government, or they have to liaise with the federal government to do things. So they make
things on the exclusive list.
More relaxed to say, look, let's just be.
But shouldn't they be pushing for that to ensure
They should be. But law has to change. We need to do a lot of changes in our law in that regard, because the exclusive list contains those certain things that the government, the state cannot do. But that's not an excuse. Yeah. They are there to provide solutions.
Yes.
They are there to do things. So they should think outside the box by look at situations in their various states. Look at what they can do to ensure that, look, those who are within the employment range are able to be.
It's especially agriculture, and agriculture is on the concurrent
because
list.
where there's unemployment,
yeah.
it will affect. It will create it will affect development.
Okay.
It will create social instability. There will be insecurity and so many other things. So
All right,
we need to add that.
Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so much for your insight into all of this now.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.